You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
As students start spring break now, a new study tonight shows a jump in the number of high school seniors trying meth. Hello again, I'm David Oliver.
And I'm Ashley Ketz. And new tonight, Kevin Schwaller is live highlighting meth use in Greene County. Kevin.
A Missouri survey asked high school seniors here in Greene County if they had tried meth in their lifetimes. In 2010, 3% of them said yes, they had. But in 2012, just last year, the number doubled to 7%. And we're not seeing that same trend on a statewide level.
It's discouraging.
Parents picking up their kids from school.
And as a parent, it's just scary.
Have a new trend to watch.
I think especially in our area, it's a big problem, and very concerned for the future of our kids.
Those about to graduate from high school in Greene County appear to be looking for a buzz, not from alcohol or pot, but from meth. And some high school students in Springfield say they believe it.
It's not surprising. I mean, meth isn't as common as pot and other drugs, but it's not surprising.
Even though it's not a shock here, they knew not to touch crystal meth.
They're stupid.
Yeah.
They shouldn't do it.
The more that we can talk to our kids, the better they're going to be about coming to us when they have questions.
Well, it's quite alarming.
And Steve Miller with Community Partnership of the Ozarks agrees parents need to talk to their kids.
It's a highly addictive drug, and even just some curiosity or some social dabbling, if you will, with this chemical can have serious lifetime consequences because of the addiction rate.
The challenge now is stopping the trend so students like Jefferson can say they brought the numbers of those seeking a meth high back down.
The same question was also asked of high school sophomores here in Greene County. The meth use numbers for that grade level actually went down. And if you want more information about how to talk with kids about meth and other drugs, go to our website, ozarksfirst.com.
Very eye-opening. Thank you, Kevin. Students in Nixa are using a music video to spread the message about bullying problems. Second graders at John Thomas School of Discovery and Nixa Junior High drama students took part in a local band's music video. The students came up with words to write on mirrors. They used names that they had been called. At the end of the video, the mirror is smashed and the words "You are loved" are displayed.
It's not what other people think, it's what you think.
I think it's more than just the anti-bullying message. It's about how do you find that resilience in yourself? How do you figure out that it's not about what outside influence, but about how you find that way to let yourself shine?
By the way, this video was filmed at school. The students also wrote about the importance of not bullying others in their journals.
Coming up this fall, Missouri State students will have to pay higher tuition. Today, the university's Board of Governors approved the increase. Undergraduate tuition increases from $200 to $204 per credit hour for in-state students. Out-of-state tuition goes from $412 to $420 for a credit hour. Graduate student tuition goes from $242 to $247 per credit hour in-state and $484 to $494 for out-of-state. The board also today approved an increase in the room rate by 3% and the board rate by 4%. Jamie Warner's in our weather lab tonight. We're all hoping that tomorrow is as nice as today, Jamie.
Yeah, and while we won't, I don't think, see the bright sunshine that we had today, it's still going to be nice because temperatures tomorrow are going to be a lot like they were today, and that is mild. Even areas that had those cold readings yesterday in the 30s for highs to our northeast because of the cloud cover made it into the 50s this afternoon. We hit 60 this afternoon here in Springfield and into the mid-60s in Joplin. Golden sunshine from start to finish, and we still have clear skies out there right now. Temperatures have dropped generally into the 40s in most of the area, although you got a couple of pockets of colder temperatures. 38 right now in Rolla, 39 in Clinton. Currently in Springfield, 47 degrees. Skies are still clear for the time being. The reason why temperatures aren't dropping any faster than they are is because of this. Winds, which are out of the southeast at around 5 to 15 miles per hour, and that's going to prevent those temperatures from bottoming out tonight. Looks like we start off Friday around 37, so I don't really think we're going to have to deal with any frost out there. And then as we work through the morning hours, that filtered sun will give way to cloudier and cloudier conditions as we work through the afternoon, but we still should manage to hit about 61 for the afternoon high, and I think on Saturday possibly up near 70. We'll deal with some rain over the weekend. More on that coming up.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. 86 people will lose their jobs when a Dairy Farmers of America plant closes this fall. The plant is in Monette, and the DFA is working with other companies now to try and place the employees. Color 10's Laurie Patton explains how the dairy industry has been suffering and the community's effort to help these workers.
86 people will lose their jobs when the Dairy Farmers of America portion of this dairy plant closes in September.
It's a sad deal. It'd be like me losing my farm and not having a job.
Larry Purdom is a dairy farmer and on the DFA board of directors. He says the dairy industry has suffered as a whole and that this plant hasn't been operating at full capacity.
Droughts and extremely high feed and hay prices and mediocre milk prices.
Purdom says for dairy farmers, their milk will now go to Highland Dairy facilities in Springfield, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith. Purdom says the move means the farmers can get more money for their milk by selling the milk that goes on the shelf instead of as an ingredient in cheese.
The move to transfer our milk from a cheese plant to a Class 1 plant will be more positive for our members. Class 1 milk brings a little more than Class 3 cheese milk does.
Purdom says hundreds of dairy farmers have folded in Missouri in the last several years. High feed, diesel, fertilizer, and hay prices have crippled the industry. Now Purdom says the DFA is helping to place the workers at this plant. Schreiber Foods, a cheese producer in the same building, may be able to take on some of the workers. And the community says they are rallying to help place the 86 employees.
We'll get the industry heads together and just see what jobs they have available, when they will be available, and see if we can help put some of the people to work.
Purdom says this is just another hit for a suffering dairy industry.
I feel bad, and I feel bad for them, but I think we're doing everything we can, but I do feel really bad for our dairy farmers when you see them selling their cows at Springfield and they're crying.
Now, these workers will still be employed until the fall. Some major manufacturers, including Schreiber Foods, a cheesemaker located in the same building as the plant, may be able to offer opportunities to some of these workers.
New at 10, an Ozarks library can no longer filter websites that deal with Native American religions, Wicca, and astrology. That's the ruling tonight from a federal court judge. Last year, the American Civil Liberties Union sued the Salem Library for access. In a statement, the Salem Library says the judgment requires the library to do nothing different than it had been doing for several months prior to the lawsuit being filed.
Also new at 10, what would you do to make travel better in the Ozarks? That's what the Missouri Department of Transportation is asking. MoDOT met with the public tonight at the Springfield-Branson National Airport. This was more than about cars. It was about transportation on the rails, rivers, and elsewhere. It covered issues affecting how we get to schools and how businesses ship goods. Roughly 45 people went to that meeting. Lists of possible projects stood in the room. One option, more lanes between Springfield and Ozark, but there's the issue of money.
That's the toughest part of our job is the funding. We always know what the needs are and we always have projects that are needed, but how do you prioritize those because you can't normally do everything you'd like with the funds we have available.
MoDOT can now use the input from this room to make changes on the road.
Local kids learn the importance of a healthy diet and exercise with some help from a special guest.
Everybody say good morning, Casey Wolf.
Kansas City Chiefs mascot Casey Wolf spent the day in Republic encouraging elementary students to make healthy choices. All 4 elementary schools were in attendance there for the mascot's Fit for Life assemblies.
Well, some of those kids even got to try on the costume. Now, it's a job Dan Mears has been doing for more than 20 years.
A lot of people think a preacher just works one day a week. Some people, I think a mascot just works one day a week, and that's not the case. We stay busy. I do about 400 appearances a year.
By the way, that assembly also kicked off a running club at all the elementary schools in Republic, and they're going to actually be training for a 5K this May.
Well, still to come, a music superstar is returning to Missouri to help a friend.
Sheryl Crow is coming back to Springfield, but this concert is going to be unique. Why the performance is so meaningful to her and how it differs from other shows.
And follow Color 10 on Facebook by finding the Facebook icon on ozarksfirst.com. Then just like our page.
New at 10, a local family is getting help from a mega music star.
Yeah, and today, Colorton's Aaron Nolan caught up with Grammy winner Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, guys, in about 4 weeks, Sheryl Crow going to take over Springfield, but this is more than just a concert. Crow coming to help a friend, Springfield native Drew Lewis and his family.
One of the things you do, obviously, when you feel helpless is you just do what you know how to do. For me, that's playing music.
A 9-time Grammy winner is coming to the Ozarks. But this isn't your normal tour stop. April 3rd at the O'Reilly Center in Springfield, Sheryl Crow will host a benefit show for Drew Lewis and his family. Drew is battling colon cancer and massive medical debt is building. His insurance company refusing to pay for 2 major surgeries.
I'm mad that while somebody's struggling for his life, he has to worry about his bills. It does make me angry.
So Drew's family friend and a cancer survivor herself will use that emotion to make a difference, one note at a time.
I mean, we've all had somebody in our family, a friend, even ourselves, be diagnosed, and so it's just a moment for all of us to come together and help somebody.
Well, I have heard their lies, I've heard the people cry.
For me personally, to play music for a situation like this, it is emotional, but it feels like, you know, it's very immediate and very urgent and a bit like a crusade.
This crusading concert for a cure will be unique. Just Sheryl, a lead guitar, and a bass guitar, making for a one-of-a-kind acoustic experience.
It's a completely different thing. It is more intimate and more personal, and you know, it's going to be, I hope, a really fun evening for people, something really different.
All right, in addition to all the tunes, Sheryl Crow will auction off one of her favorite guitars, so it will no doubt be a huge help to Drew Lewis and his family. But this family focused on more. In fact, before the concert, folks can take part in an awareness festival. Drew hoping to use his story to help others. For more information on the concert, you can visit our website, ozarksfirst.com.
Very good, Aaron. Thanks so much. Jamie Warner back on the Weather Lab now watching what's going to happen for the weekend for us.
Well, sunshine and 60 today, and it looks like we may have clouds on Saturday, but we could hit 70 degrees. Will the warmth last all weekend long? I can tell you we're going to see some rain. We'll talk temperatures and what to expect as we head through the weekend and beyond coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, well, today was the kind of day you just hated to see the sun go down because it was so nice all day long. Even this morning, I was able to go sit out on the porch. Temperatures were cool, but that sunshine felt also very, very nice. Outside right now, we've got clear skies, 47. Temperatures aren't dropping very quickly because we've got breezy southeast winds at around 15 miles per hour in Springfield. Those winds aren't going anywhere, so temperatures will only slowly drop the rest of the night. The reason for the nice weather currently is because we're between storms. We had the storm here on the east coast. We also have the storm here on the west coast, and areas in between sort of protected by this big dome of high pressure, this ridge of high pressure in the atmosphere. Now, the storm in the west hasn't even made its way onshore in California, although we are beginning to find rain along the coastline. That storm will gradually make its way east across the midsection of the country during the second half of this weekend and into early next week. In the meantime, what it will do is it will pick up a lot of Pacific moisture and throw it our way later tonight and tomorrow. Now, I'm not expecting any precipitation, but we're going to see those high clouds roll in, and then those high clouds will thicken up as we head through the daytime hours on Friday. Let's take you hour by hour again for the rest of the overnight. I really don't think we're going to see much in the way of cloudiness out there until right around sunrise. And that's when some high clouds make their way here into western Missouri and northwest Arkansas. Now, initially during the morning, we're actually going to get a fair amount of sun, I think, through those high clouds. But as we work into the afternoon, those high clouds will thicken up, and it's probably going to get a lot grayer as we head through the mid to late afternoon hours than what we started off with during the morning. But temperature still should make it up to about 61. Notice we have rain also breaking out across Kansas, and I think overnight, Friday night, there will be the threat of showers as a warm front sets up and pushes north across the region. The best chance for those showers probably along and north of Highway 60. And then that activity should actually move on out in time for Saturday morning, so that Saturday morning we're going to get some clouds, but we're also going to get some sun, and that's going to push temperatures up pretty quickly during the morning hours. As we get into the afternoon on Saturday, those clouds will once again thicken back up, but temperatures by that point will still be rising into the mid to upper 60s, and if we can get enough sun, maybe up around 70 for high, at least for a few locations. Most of the rain should hold off until the early evening hours, but we will find a band of rain, maybe with some thunder, moving out of Kansas and then across western Missouri overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. Now, I think it's really just morning rain for areas along and west of Highway 65 on Sunday, but areas east of Highway 65, particularly toward Highway 63, I think that band of rain and thunder will tend to park itself, at least for a little while, and not move out until Sunday night. And that's why I think the heaviest rainfall totals, maybe over an inch, will tend to be near Highway 63, with most everybody else west of there picking up between 1/4 and 3/4 of an inch. Colder air will be wrapping in behind the storm, so there will be the risk of maybe some flurries, maybe Sunday evening. So we'll watch for that potential. Here's a quick peek at what our models are saying as far as rainfall potential. Overnight tonight, 35 for the low. For tomorrow, we'll see a high of 61 degrees. Again, those high clouds will be thickening up, and your 7-day forecast. We've talked about the weekend. Temperatures will be cooling off. In fact, it looks like highs only around 44 with clearing skies on Monday, but this is a short-lived round of cold. Temperatures warming back up into the 60s by Wednesday.
We're ready for spring because we're tired of getting colds and having coughing fits when you do the news.
What do you mean by that,
to read a story. Thank goodness Ashley was here tonight. I had a coughing fit.
I know. I went through this. I went through this last spring. There was a week there where I couldn't get through a 5 o'clock show because I kept coughing. But
and allergy season just started.
But I got a cough drop in now, so we're good now. We're good now.
We can continue on.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. The Bears are in a dogfight up in St. Louis. Get your Arch Madness update.
We're also going to find out which local hoops teams will play for the state championships on Saturday. Nick Carboni's next with sports.
And now, the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Nick Carboni.
The Missouri State Bears going through an old friend in tonight's Valley playing game in St. Louis. Dan Lucy is at Scott Trade Center with more.
Missouri State started its quest to win 4 games in 4 days tonight against a familiar foe, Barry Henson and his Southern Illinois Salukis. Barry Henson coached the Missouri State Bears for 9 seasons, and he suffered his share of heartache here at Arch Madness. Missouri State hoping to add to that and keep the Bears season alive. Henson's Salukis have won 6 of their last 8 games. Valley Freshman of the Year Marcus Marshall with an early 3 to give the Bears a 5-2 lead. But the Salukis, Jeff Early with some defense, steals the ball and then goes all the way in for the hoop and the harm. It was 7-5 Salukis. Then Marshall spins to the hole. He had 6 of Missouri State's first 8 points. Saluki senior Jeff Early was hot early, high off the glass for 2. Salukis up by 3. Then SIU with the steal and Desmar Jackson with the dunk, and it was 13-8 Salukis. But Missouri State would battle back inside off the inbounds to Christian Kirk for 2. It was 13-12. And then Keith Pickens retiring after this tournament, the jumper from the free throw line. The Bears were within 1, 15-14, close to the end of the first half.
All right, thanks, Dan. Bears went on a 20-7 run to close the first half. They were up 10 and maintaining that double-digit lead in the second half. MSU winning the rebounding battle, shooting about 50% for the game. They have 3 players in double figures, Anthony Downing, Marcus Marshall, and Christian Kirk. The Bears, if they win, will play the 2-seed Wichita State tomorrow night at 6:05. Top-seeded Drury surviving 8th-seeded Indianapolis today, 77-72 in Evansville. Alex Hall with 20. Panthers going to face the 5-seed Bellarmine in Saturday's semifinals at noon. The C of O women moving on to the second round of the NAIA Division II tournament, beating Milligan today 84-76 in Sioux City, Iowa. The Lady Bobcats will play again tomorrow night. A collection of 4 local teams in Columbia today for the small school state semifinals. Justin Doherty also there. He's got the highlights.
Thanks, Nick. All of today's semifinal action taking place in the old stomping grounds of the Tigers. The Hearn Center. Up first in the matinee is the Crane Lady Pirates taking on the Skyline Lady Tigers. And then a little bit later in Class 1, it's Eminence taking on Drexel. Up first, Crane and Skyline back in Columbia for the first time since 2008 for both teams. Emma Lander, though, for Crane, looking good early. Drives the lane, gets the bucket to go. Lady Pirates up 10, 29-19. They'd be up 11 at half. Fast forward to the 4th. Crane still looking good from way downtown, 53-42 Lady Pirates. Skyline, though, still working hard. Brittany Johnson gets the board, fights for it, fights for the lay-in, gets that to fall. 57-44, Crane still leads. And then later in the 4th, Maggie McMenemy, she wants this game done. Lady Pirates take the 61-44 lead. They would go on to win it 70-51. Lady Pirates after the game.
There's definitely nerve-wracking. I mean, the last 2 games have been extremely close, quarterfinal game and our sectional game. I mean, but coming in here and winning by that, it really feels like a win. We didn't just win by a little, we won.
On to boys Class 1 semis. Eminence taking on Drexel in the 3rd. Red Wings down 2. Not anymore. Logan Dyer battles below, gets the friendly roll, tied at 39, and Eminence would take this one in overtime, 65-64. Now for the nightcap, we're going to stay in Class 1. The Walnut Grove Lady Tigers are back in Columbia for the 2nd year in a row. This time taking on the Chadwick Lady Cardinals, who have a tough test ahead. Lady Tigers coming in as the #1 team in the state. But Caitlin Roselle, she's shooting from long distance. 3-pointers is good. Lady Cardinals down 12-5. Then Heather Harmon, she takes over. Tough layup is good. 35-16 Walnut Grove. Then Harmon once again from downtown, 45-20. And Heather Harmon had 19 points at the half. On to the 4th quarter. Madison Freeze from the corner. Walnut Grove wins it easily by 24, 66-42.
State championship game is our goal, and I think all the kids would tell you that that if we would have lost tonight, it would have been a huge disappointment for us. And after getting where we were last year and feeling like we've got a really veteran team.
And so, Nick, at the end of the day, 3 area teams moving on to the championship rounds on Saturday. Crane, Eminence, and Walnut Grove will play in back-to-back games, all starting at 5 p.m. over at Mizzou Arena. For tonight in Columbia, I'm Justin Doherty, Color 10 Sports.
All right, we've got 3 teams at state. Justin's going to stick around up there in Columbia, get the 3 teams in Saturday's final. Hopefully, Dan will be able to stick around in St. Louis and get the Bears playing tomorrow night against Wichita if they can hold on to that big lead.
Tournaments continue on.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Nick.
Well, call this hanging 10 with some hooves.
The story behind this surfing pig next.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
Well, pigs cannot fly, but this one can surf.
Zorro lives in New Zealand, and his owner says the 2-month-old loves the water. Although not a big fan of the waves, Zorro will continue surfing until he's too big for his owner to manage him.
That takes some talent right there. We got some good news out of St. Louis to report for you right now.
That's right. The Bears beating Southern Illinois 61-53. They'll take on Wichita State tomorrow night at 6.
That'll be a tough game for them. Well, they can probably do it. All right. Thanks, Nick.
And thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night.